Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing this Chevy Tahoe High Country. A couple things before we get into the review. So first off, big thank you to the Carl Malone Chevy here in Park City. Link to their website in the description down below. And then this is on the transport wheels. These are not the final wheels. This comes with 22-inch wheels that are a lot fancier, a lot nicer. They're literally a $3,000+ option. They're just not here yet. Anyways, as always, link to my car buying guide as well. Let's get into it. Under the hood we have a 6.2 liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed. Fuel economy is 14 around town and then 18 on the highway, with power outputs being 420 horsepower and then 460 pound-feet of torque. Before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you can see how it kind of pops up on either side. I think it looks pretty cool. Now the big thing with the High Country is going to be down below. So fun new lighting design here. And then you can see the special coloration for the High Country grille. Notice the bumper is body painted. We do have fog lights at the very bottom. So it kind of looks a little bit fancier. Now like I said at the start, these are the transport wheels. The actual ones are 22s and they're a pricey option, but they look cool. So you got that going for you. High Country there on the side, you can see Tahoe down below, and then we've got the fixed side steps with this. And then taking a few steps back, there's your side profile. I like the proportions on the Tahoe, it looks really good. And then also you got all that silver trim around the windows. Now this leads us to the key fob where we have our lock and unlock function. We got the remote start, the opening for the hatch, for the window in the back, Chevy bow tie there. So I'll press that a couple times and that'll open up the hatch of the Tahoe. Now, you'll notice that with the Tahoe, there's not a massive amount of space. If you want more space, get the Suburban. But we do have an outlet here in the back. And then we've got that tab to fold down the second row, first one. That's to fold down the third row or raise it up, depending on what you want. And here we'll fold the one side down so you can see. It's a pretty quick actuation overall. And then we do get more storage underneath here as well. Nice trim on the back. And yeah, that's everything for the rear, so just press that and I'll lower the hatch right back down. Now taking a look at the taillights, they've got a cool smoked out design. Pretty nice looking overall. It's funny animation. And then I love the exhaust tips here at the very bottom. Very aggressive. I mean, look at that. Something to note though, the High Country doesn't look too different from other Tahoe packages is what I'm noticing. They kind of made the Tahoe a little bit more uniform. And then this leads us into the rear. So with the High Country, you get this really nice trim here up top. Got the cool wood trim down below. And look at this, with all the stitching. And then here are the seats for the High Country. So just like the Silverado, you get fancy stitching. Nicely labeled seat adjustments on the side. Captain chairs with this one. Just because it's really muddy all around here, I'm not going to step on the back because it doesn't have floor coverings. I mean, I guess I could step on this plastic thing, but we're not going to do that. I have gotten in the back. Tons of legroom, got a little storage pocket, cup holders. You can see here with the climate controls, heated seats as well. And then as for the, here we'll move this down. As for the third row, the seats aren't quite as fancy looking, but easy to clean. So that is the one benefit with those rear seats. And then you can, as you can see, fit adults back there. You've got plenty of legroom. And if you're wondering, this is really easy to get back up into place. Like boom, already done. And see ya. Now this leads us up front where you can see again with the soft touch trim down below as well. And it's like perforated here at the bottom section. Front two windows are automatic. Power folding mirror function there. Memory seats. Blind spot monitoring for the mirrors. Before we take a look at the seats, capacities, 7,500 pounds of towing. So the 6.2 V8 tows less than the 5.3, which I find interesting. Payload is 1655. And then High Country there at the top. Perforated all down the center with the fancy stitching and everything. I mean, here's a look at that close up. All of our power adjustments on the side. And then you can see here with the multitude of controls. So we got for your lane departure, stability control, 360 camera, parking sensors, auto stop start, parking assist, light controls here, drive mode select with our drive line. Interesting. No 2-speed transfer case. Interesting. Steering wheel's power adjustable. a quick look at the steering wheel. We've got soft touch all around. Rear controls below the paddle shifters, and you've got the paddle shifters just above that. You can kind of see those visibly a little bit. Bunch of practical controls here on the front, including for the center screen, heated steering wheel, cruise control as well. And this one just has regular cruise control. Turn signal windshield wiper stock, column shifter, which is nice to free up space. And then we've got Chevy's new digital gauge cluster, which I like how you've got all the different views. Makes it feel a little bit more custom and makes it so you can see the information you want. Now this does have a 360 camera system, which is always nice. Trajectory line turn with the steering wheel. And you've got all the viewpoints here. So that's great. And then you got a little volume control there as well. Heated and ventilated seats. Notice that. That's nice. Why is that not working? There we go. But yeah, I mean, it's quick to respond. So overall, I think it's a good system, but it is kind of a sign of the times, so they're putting everything into the screen nowadays. Except for the climate controls, they did leave a few physical buttons for that. Wireless phone charging pad. Got some cup holders here. It's at the center console. Nice fancy stitching again. Storage overall. Nice trim here on the dash. You can see it says High Country there on the edge. And then down below, big glove box. Camera rear view mirror with this. And then interestingly enough, this one doesn't have a sunroof. And so here's our window sticker for this Tahoe High Country. And like I said, it's got those wheels that'll be coming with it. So 6-spoke, 3,500 bucks, crazy. Anyways, 86,965. So after taxes, right? 90 grand most places. I gotta like not step through the deeper puddles. Okay, anyways, let's see how it drives. Let us set off. Gonna have to flip around here. .360 camera system's nice for that though. And I probably should have said this at the beginning of the video. You're probably gonna want to turn the audio up on this video a little bit. I cannot project my voice whatsoever. Not sure what I have, but I have been sick for half a week now. And I am doing everything. I drank like a gallon and a half of water last night. I'm doing the nasty home remedies, so like I had garlic honey soup. Yeah, sounds delicious, right? And just doing all the stuff you're supposed to do to help it go away, and it seems like it's getting better in some ways, but then it's getting worse in other ways. It's one of those things. So we'll see what happens. I will say that this area up here is this will be good for the review to talk about. I thought it was like 6,500 feet above sea level. I was wrong. My Grenadier has an inclinometer and it says it's actually only 63-ish hundred feet above sea level. So that'll be interesting to see how the V8 kind of handles the higher elevation here. Gonna take it slow initially because there's gonna be some mud in the wheels. And if you don't know, if memory serves me right, these transport wheels are more expensive than the 22-inch wheels. And I know that sounds crazy, but these have to be returned to GM. At least that's what my friend that works at a GMC dealer told me about transport wheels. And if you damage them or lose them or whatever, GM charges you like an insane amount of money per wheel. But I mean, I will talk about ride quality even though these aren't the actual wheels that'll be on it. What I'll say is it's smooth. The suspension's good, and this doesn't have the adjustable suspension or anything like that. You can add that to the Tahoe if you want. And I've driven a new, I think it was a Tahoe with the air suspension. It was a Z71. and it's more comfortable. Definitely has better dampening. Yeah, the tires on this are so soft. You can tell that these tires probably couldn't make it more than, like, I'd be shocked if they could go more than a few thousand miles. Wait for this other person to come through and then we'll flip around. Oh. But interior's nice. Materials are nice. I like the High Country trim a lot. I think they've done a good job with the overall design. I guess we'll see the turning radius here too. Yeah, not too bad. And the 6.2 V8, it's got good power. And even at higher elevation, it's a torquey beast. And I know I'll get a bunch of comments on the diesel in this review. Dealerships, as of my knowledge, can't even order them right now. So I'll review one once they're available, but it sounds like they won't be available until next year. So they'll still be a 2025 model year. They just won't be available at dealers till next year in 2025. Who would have thought? So overall, the Tahoe's, it's a nice car. The High Country elevates things, and you know, this is a tough one because it's very similar in price to a GMC Yukon Denali, and I think a lot of people would probably just rather go Yukon because of the looks. People like the GMC looks a lot, but still, it's a, you know, Chevy undercuts GMC a bit in price, and you're basically getting the same vehicle. And so if you don't, you know, this is still, I think, a good enough looking vehicle. I like the new front end design. So yeah, I mean, there's a Z71, and I think they did a good job with the setup. But as I was saying, I think that if you're just looking for the features, then yeah, the Chevy's always going to be the best value, because you get the features and it's less money than the GMC, and you know, it's also less than the Cadillac. But let me know what you guys think about the Tahoe High Country here, and let me know if you'd get this or if you would get the GMC Yukon instead.